know at the end of October, there's one day in particular, Halloween, where on average, children are more than twice as likely to be hit and killed or severely injured on that day by being run over by a car. We kind of recommend for parents, if your kids are younger than 12 years old, they really need a responsible adult to go with them. If your child is old enough to go out on their own and mature enough, make sure that they're traveling in groups. Make sure that if they're carrying a cell phone, that they're putting those down and not distracted when they're crossing the street. So for drivers, just keep in mind the days are getting shorter, it's getting darker earlier. Kids are usually out between 5:30 and 9:30, but go ahead and turn your headlights on earlier in the day so that you can see children who are at a greater distance from you earlier in the evening. So put your distractions down while you're driving. Make sure that you're going slowly as you're approaching these high pedestrian traffic areas, as well as pulling into driveways or backing out of driveways, just to be watching for children and families. So when we're talking about costumes, we sort of covered that it's good and important to make sure that kids can be seen. So you want to make sure you're putting on those reflectives and that they are carrying flashlights or glow sticks or anything that might help an automobile to see them before they cross the street. But we also want to talk about keeping kids safe in their costumes. So make sure that the costumes are fitting them appropriately, that they're not too long, that there's not a trip or fall hazard, as well as, kids like to put on masks and parents like to dress them up and maybe put the mask on for the pictures. But when they're going door to door and they're walking house to house and crossing the street, let's make sure that we take the mask off so that their visual fields are not obstructed. And also a good thing that you can do is just put on non-toxic makeup and or non-toxic face paint as opposed to doing a mask. So at the end of the night, we get home and we're dumping all our candy on the floor and all the kids are going through all the things that they have collected during the night. And we all know that some of them are gonna eat those things before they come home. So just a few tips to remember. Make sure that when someone is accepting or your child is accepting something that's homemade, make sure that it's from grandma or your neighbor or somebody where you know what the ingredients are before that child eats that. Also make sure that the packaging is intact, that it's not faded or that it hasn't been tampered with, to make sure that that child doesn't eat something that has already come out of the packaging. We want to make sure that we dispose of that and throw it away. So we just want to make sure that we're taking all these tips into account ahead of time. They're just some simple, easy things that we can do that don't take much time, but we can have these conversations with our kids before they go out on that night, so that we can all enjoy it and come home safely.